Yes. I'm over here at the mines. I'm in the mines.
Okay, yes. Do your thing over there. Base 2 keeps getting attacked from the hill next to it.
Oh
And
yeah, that's where I was. It got attacked while I was there. I killed them all
yeah, and so that's what
and tried to kill one of ours, but it's fine.
and that's what we're that's why everything's been moved to the other side and we flattened out that area. But that area is where we were talking about we could really use a artistic architect. Art artistic artistic, yeah. Thank you. To build defensive walls. Uh
I actually
and
think I
also
found a better mining place.
than the base 3.
Than the one by the old church, yeah.
9 ore.
9, huh?
That's what base 3 has. 9 ore. One of those 9 ore is like halfway in the base. So you can call it 8. But there's tons of ore. There's 8 ore at least. 8 or 9 ore. And tons of trees. I've covered up most of those trees. I try to cover those trees as I go through. But that's our issue. Is with base 3. People, they get distracted. And they do other things that they don't need to do. We don't even have farms there. We just bring them food so they don't get distracted with farms. But like the birds that we use for moving everything, they'll just get caught on nothing. And the Astegons, they'll get depressed and they'll get caught on nothing or stuck in the hot tub. So we're missing something. There's something that we can streamline about that. We don't know what it is. Like, you see how the beds are, right? We have the
Yeah,
beds
I see him.
crushed as close to the mining operation and the food boxes and the chests as possible, so they won't go outside of that loop in a path. And still, they'll just walk one step outside of the ring and just get stuck.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you have an excellent day at work today.
I hate dig toys so much.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. You're right. But again, the Astegons, which are better, and they're what you introduced into the formula, they they're easily depressed, and they just get hooked up on shit, and they just stand there.
Well, then they can get hooked up on ship and just stand there then.
But then they're worse than the diggy biggies. Like they don't do anything. At least the digitoids will fucking tear shit up.
You're right. Needs a feminine touch. Akron, when are you getting on?
Oh,
Oh, damn.
Fucking bazinga! Toxic.
But also,
Stuck
we've
on
Where the hell did that come from?
we've already
what,
talked.
the bazinga?
No.
Oh, let's see, because that was from Toxic the other night when she was high.
I
Shit.
heard.
I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Toxic said, "I'm balling on balls," and then started laughing, and then said bazinga, and continued to laugh harder.
They told me, yeah. That's. Oh, I was dying.
Bazinga! That's fucking rip. There was a morning like last weekend or whenever I came back. Yeah, so like Saturday or Sunday, and oh yeah, so Sunday. Toxic and I get on at like 1 p.m. and I can hear that she's eating something. I said, "What are you eating?" Parker said a bun, and I said, honey bun, a cinnamon bun. And Toxic said, no, just a hamburger bun.
Seems appropriate
Uh,
to me.
and I was like, I get it. That's like, this is no judgment here. No, just a hamburger bun. I feel that.
I mean, I
that is solid.
regularly just eat bags of croutons. Like I'm
Oh,
in no
yeah.
position to
Mhm.
judge anyone.
Look, same,
Croutons.
same. Yeah, I was like, you think I haven't just eaten a hamburger bun for breakfast before? Yeah, but I was like, what you eating? A bun. What kind of bun? It's a fancy bun? Oh, it's a hamburger bun. Well, yeah, I totally fucking get that.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you have an excellent.
You know, Darth, you and me, we used to be together. Always together. Always.
I'm sorry.
Now it seems. I'm losing. Best
My
friend.
best friend.
Can't believe this could be. The
Don't speak. I know what you're saying. That shit still comes up. Like that, of course, and the Cotton Candy song. And that Tonic song. If you could only see. Oh, those are all jams.
the way we love.
Have you gone back to
Speaking
the
of-
clown song that I sent you at all?
It's on my playlist.
Hell yeah.
But again, I'm doing what I can. You know,
Mhm.
as
You know,
someone who
Liking
is
clowns
aware.
does not make you a furry.
No. But someone who is aware of what addictive behavior is, and can recognize it in its early stages. I just like to, I just like to shoot up once, and then I'm like, okay, that was fun. Let's not keep chasing that fucking high.
Okay,
God, that clown one is good though. Yeah, I'd say the last like 4 days or so. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna watch some TV on my phone or on my computer as I fall asleep. And I'm like, what about some Hell of a Boss or some fucking... I'm like, nope. No, you cannot. That means Lexi wins.
Come on, don't you want the context, the backstories for the characters?
Yeah, listen, as someone who wanted to be a comedian, I understand how important it is to learn all of pop culture.
Uh-huh.
But I've given up. That dream is dead and gone. And so I no longer need those pop culture references.
Good for you.
I'd probably hate it anyway. Yeah, good on you, letting your dream die. That is one of my favorite icebreakers at a bar after I've had a few drinks and we meet someone. I say, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah. What was your dream and when did it die? And people will normally just answer you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
I don't know,
I
I'm still
wanted,
kind of clinging to mine.
I'm like, oh, well, I wanted to do this, and it died when I was like this age, or like when this happened, or when it was made very clear to me that I was not good at that thing I like. Yeah, hey, cling on to your dream. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish.
One day I'll finish a book.
I'm back.
Yeah,
That'd
I've
be cool.
never read.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I've never read a whole book either, Lexi. I totally
up.
get it.
How may I?
Yeah, no. Sometimes I remind myself, I'm like, Rodney Dangerfield didn't become a world famous comedian until he was in his 50s, and I was like, that's not actually true. Like he did comedy all through his 20s and 30s. It's like, yeah, look,
That
you're
is the
done.
thing, you do have to try.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'll never try again. And that's the lesson, son. Never try.
Never try.
Well, I'm to the point now where Bun, my childhood friend growing up, who used to steal all of my jokes, now wants to do comedy, and he's into comedy. And so he pitches me all of his jokes, and I give him help with it. And I tell him what I think about him, and I just, I use that to put myself on a pedestal. I'm like, what a fucking terrible joke. My God, dude, I was telling jokes like that when I was 14. Anyway, I'm funnier than you. Go fuck yourself.
What a supportive friend.
Mm.
That's
I never say
cheese.
that to him. I never say it to him. I
Oh,
To
okay.
his face.
never to his face. It's just like sometimes I do like a few times he's said things to me where he's like, bruh, I came up with this hilarious joke. And then like 3 or 4 weeks later I heard it in a TV show or whatever on a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's gonna happen like a lot. It's parallel thinking, and it's why I stopped Googling my own jokes. Because I was like, they're stealing them from me. Fuck that shit.
I've had that with random ideas that I have. Like, I'll come up with an idea for a fan character for a TV show, and then I keep watching the TV show, and a character that is identical to the one I created shows up, and I'm like, how did this happen?
Look, that was happening so much to me in my teenage years that I was literally like going fucking conspiracy theory, like I was being gang stalked or something. I was like, all right, because when I was younger, I was like, I need to look up my jokes so that I make sure I'm not stealing it from someone that I've heard from before. Like that's what a lot of musicians do. They're like, is this song mine, or is this just subconsciously something I've stolen? And so I would do that all the time. And then every once in a while, a few weeks later, that fucking joke would come up in some way, and I was like, we never Google our jokes again. Yeah, and that's where Bun is now in his 30s. And I'm like, bro, that's just how it is, dude.
Things
Uh,
will never be the same.
So one of them, the one that really gets me is that I came up with a fan character for the anime Seven Deadly Sins. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, this is my character, and she has a friend who is a fairy, like just a small little pixie
Like
sized
Tinkerbell.
fairy. But only she can see her. Like he's invisible to everyone else.
Flintstones did it.
And lo and behold, I keep watching the show, and there's a guy character who's just talking to this fairy that only he can see. I was like, what the fuck?
That is from Flintstones though. That is when Flintstones jumped the shark.
What?
Yeah, there's like an alien fairy thing that only Fred and Barney can see.
What?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
keep wanting to call him Gizmo,
Mr.
but it's not it.
No, it's fuck. What is it? He's a real dick.
That's
Well,
the
yeah.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so that's like people use the term jumping the shark from Happy Days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gazoo,
but
the great Gazoo.
that's it. Yep.
Okay.
So that's exactly the person you were describing. But jumping the shark actually happened ages ago, and jumping the shark in reality is when a show gets so boring that they have to introduce a new character, and that character starts to change the whole tone of the show. Yeah, in the Great Gazoo or whatever. Also crossovers. Big sign of
Shark jumping.
shark jumping.
It comes from Happy Days where they had Fonzie jump over a shark.
Right.
Oh.
That's what I'm
On a
saying.
jet
Yeah,
ski.
but no, not on a jet ski. On skis.
Not a jet. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on
That's
skis.
Basically a jet ski.
You guys ever watched
Just without the death.
you
Yeah,
guys ever watched Arrested Development?
obviously.
Do you know the joke about that in the show? Henry Winkler, who is the Fonz, is their attorney.
Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And
Mhm.
there is a time where where he goes to meet Michael and Job at the boat. The boat's name is the C Word, which is where I get that joke from. And as he is walking down the dock to talk to them, someone's pulling in a shark, and he's like, "Oh, damn it!" and he jumps over the shark. It's brilliant. It's
That is very good.
it's so good. That whole show is so fucking smart. But yeah, there's a moment where he's like looking around and he jumps the shark. I love it.
There's always money in the banana stand, Michael.
I said, did you burn down the banana stand? Oh, most definitely. He's a flamer, Michael. He's a flamer. Oh, he's an arsonist. Did you burn down the banana stand? Oh, most definitely. Patrice O'Neill, you will be missed. One of Bun's first jokes that, like, he called me the day it happened. And he was like, dude, you remember that joke about Wolverine that I told you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, it was on a podcast, and then he's like, a few days later, some comedian did it in his stand-up special. Bun's joke was, if Wolverine was real, you could make unlimited calamari off of his foreskin. And a comedian did that joke, and he like sent it to me, and he was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's my joke. And I was like, buddy, welcome to writing jokes. And I was like, this you're gonna realize you're not as unique as you think. Yeah, I feel bad for Bun. He loves Kill Tony. It's a show slash podcast thing. Well, not a podcast, but like a YouTube show. Where a guy named Tony Hinchcliffe, who's been doing comedy for 15 years or whatever, has a show in a local bar in Austin, and he invites local amateur comedians to put their name into a bucket, and then the name gets drawn out, and they get 1 minute on stage to tell stand up, and then after their 1 minute is over, Tony Hinchcliffe just shit talks them. And Bun loved this guy, and Bun invited me to one of Tony's secret shows. And so I don't know who Tony is. And I go and I watch the show, and twice during the sets, because there were multiple comedians doing it, twice during the sets, one of the comedians pointed at me and said, this guy doesn't laugh. This guy's not laughing. It's hard for me to laugh during a comedy set. Unless you're good, like unless you got your shit together, all I ever think of is like, I've been where you are, dude. I've not been on that stage, but I'm like, I get it, and you're doing a bad job.
I'm a lot more generous if I'm at a comedy club because it's the atmosphere. You know?
Right? No, I'm more studying. I'm more just like watching everyone's movements and shit, and like I'm like, dude, you're so fucking stiff up there, or like you keep putting too much inflection on something, or you're really pushing like racist jokes. And during these secret shows, the Tony Hinchcliffe secret shows, you have to put your phone in one of those locking bags. And that is because some of the comedians want to be extremely racist or sexist. And
Yeah, well, even if they're not necessarily, it's easy to just post a video out of context and make someone look bad.
right, and that doesn't even matter. Like, who gives a shit? But Tony Hinchcliffe came up again. Didn't know the guy. I told Bun, he looks like if all of the guys from Always Sunny had a kid, or if everyone from Always Sunny had an ugly kid, is what I told him. And he was like, "No, this is the guy." And the guy used the N word, and he made trans jokes, and he made like Asian jokes and shit, and like brown people are terrorists on a plane. And I was just like, "This isn't good." And Bun's first
You are a
100
Texas.
Bun's first 100 jokes or so that he told me, I had to stop him and be like, "Dude, you're doing shock comedy. That, to me especially, that's not funny." I was like, I was like, I can go far more shocking than that. I was like, I grew up with fucking Howard Stern, on the radio and on E. I was like, that's not that's nothing to me. I was like, I listened to Sam Kinison growing up. That's nothing to me. And then yeah, we went and saw this guy's show.
Wait, Sam, is he Hickory Dickory Dock?
No, that's Dice. That's Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's Andrew
Yeah.
Dice Clay.
I also listen. Yeah, Sam Kinison is okay. You seen the Goonies? You know the the evil mom from the Goonies. Sam
Yeah.
Kinison both looks and sounds like that. Yes, that's Sam
yeah.
Kinison.
I know exactly. That was such a good way to let me know.
That's Sam Kinison.
Get the hat and everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. It is all like, look, people are like, oh, George Carlin, 7 dirty words, and Richard Pryor. I don't know if you guys know the story about Richard Pryor, where he was freebasing cocaine
And they lit himself on fire.
and he
Yeah,
lit himself on
classic.
fire. That's not true. He was actually trying to commit suicide and was high on cocaine that he was freebasing. And once he lit himself on fire, he ran outside into the snow and put himself out. And then he turned it into a joke about how he lit himself on fire. But I learned what freebasing was from a Richard Pryor stand-up set at the age of like 10. But yeah, I was like, Bun, like, shock comedy. I was like, dude, you got to be smarter. And he was like, well, like, what are some of your jokes? And I'm like, I can only do stories. And I was like, that's my style. I can't do one-liners. It's not my thing. Bun's got a few now that I've appreciated, over time. He texted me the other day and said, hey man, you think any of those Palestinians in Gaza are going to get their security deposit back? And I was like, I doubt it. And he said, yeah, their landlords are probably going to be real Jews about it. And I was like,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I was like, that's solid. I was like, yeah, solid. Yes. Yeah, I was like, Bun, write that down. Write that down, that's good. He also has one. He tried doing it the other day in stream when he was with everyone. He has one that he hasn't quite padded out yet. But it's about how eating ass became popular from that song where it says I eat the booty like groceries.
Mhm.
And he's like, do you know that song came out in like 2018, 2019? Do you not realize there's a correlation between eating ass and COVID? Do you guys, it wasn't made in a lab. This is from eating ass. And we've been working on it. We've been workshopping it. And he's getting somewhere with it. And I'm proud
Got
of him.
potential.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of him for like finally coming up with a premise that's good. But yeah, for the longest time, he was like, here's some shock joke. And I'm like, dude, no.
I don't want
that's,
this.
That's
Take
edgelord.
it back.
Yeah, but Bun signed up like 4 or 5 times for Kill Tony, and never got selected from the bucket. And I keep telling him, do it, dude. Like keep signing up for Kill Tony. Keep doing it, because I want him to understand how fucking shit that guy is for ripping into people who are literally putting everything on the line. Like, dude, you know how hard it is to do that shit? Like, and then
Oh,
he
Kill
just
Tony's
shits
the
on you.
guy you sent me, where there was like a guy on there who looks like he's like 12, but he's like 30 something.
Yeah.
Is that? Am I
There's-
thinking of the right?
No,
And
that's
there's
the
like
one.
okay.
That kid, well, he's like 24 or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, but there's lore behind that kid. He got famous on Kill Tony, and they were asking him some questions, and they were like, "Are you a virgin?" And he was like, I am." He's like, "It's hard to get laid when you're like a 12-year-old." And they were like, "Oh, fucking, well, you're great, you know, and we want to bring you on the road with Tony Hitchcliffe again." Not funny. He has no jokes that you can remember. Just all shot comedy shit. He's like, "We want to bring you on the road and stuff." And like 3 weeks later, that guy got his name selected in the bucket again. And his first joke or his first thing was, "I finally got laid, you guys. I got laid." And he's like, "It was some girl here at the bar having a drink with me who said she was just gonna take one for the team, and god damn it, I forget how it goes.
Thank you.
He's like, Ruby, are you out there? Ruby, are you here?" And you hear someone in the crowd yell, "My name's Rebecca." And it's this it's this fat Mexican chick wearing like goth makeup, and like black lipstick and shit. Like it's very like scene emo type thing. And that was
hot?
the funniest. That well,
Huh.
yeah. I mean,
I want to
not-
apologize for liking
yeah,
what I
not-
like.
look, not unattractive, but you
Except for the scat, you
yeah.
should apologize about the
I-
scat thing.
yeah.
I'm not gonna live down the scat allegations, am I?
But
No.
No.
yeah, if you watch the clip, you can tell that she's like, "Oh, god damn it," and then she says something, and then you see her, and it's the person who's put on so much makeup and like gone so far into their outfit that they also have like body image issues. It's clear. Like, it's just one of those things like, oh my god. And then they ask, they're like, "Are your roommates here? What happened?" And one of his roommates is in the club, and it's like, "Yeah, actually, he brought this chick over and had a tie on the door or whatever, but he's like, I live here, so like I had to go in, and I just hoped he was in his room." And he says, "I walked in, and this fat bitch was raping some 12-year-old on my couch." But yeah, the show's pretty bad, and the comedians that have become somewhat popular from it aren't actually funny. There is a dude whose dick was cut in two,
Oh my god.
like down the middle, and they call him like Two Dick Dave or whatever. And he in a live show, it was cut out of the podcast or the YouTube thing. He in the live show showed everyone how his dick is cut in twain, and so they call him like Two Dick Dave or whatever.
No, I've been spotted.
Illegal activity.
I have questions I'm not sure I want answers to.
Why? Look, I'm the same. How do you make a tink tink?
Right.
Do
What
they
happened?
both get hard? Yeah. What? Yeah, no. But yeah, Bun knows the whole story. He's told me the whole story before, and how the dude he's got a weird thing where he's got two dicks essentially, and they do work apparently.
Huh.
So
But yeah, I've went to the live show. I was called a heckler at one point because this gay guy who was up there said he was like, Grinder's tough, man. And people cheered, and I cheered too. I was like, yeah. And he looked to me and said, "What's up, dude? Are you gay?" And I said, me? No, I'm not gay, but it's hard out there for everybody, bud.
I mean,
And he-
fair.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, so do you know any gay people? I was like, oh yeah, tons of them. I know tons of gay people. And he's like who? And I said, mostly otters like you. And he said, what? And I said, mostly otters like you. And that's when one of the bartenders yelled, heckler, heckler. And I was like, I'm not. He addressed me.
He's asking me a question.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just
He addressed
responding.
me. Yeah, he addressed me. Fuck you guys. I was wearing a green, like a dark green hoodie, and he called me Duck Dynasty because I had facial hair, and no one laughed, and I was just like, whatever.
Aw.
But yeah, but earlier it wasn't funny. Bun was
Oh,
literally wearing a camo jacket and has facial hair, and someone had already called Bun Duck Dynasty, and so
Oh.
and so it was one of those things where I was like, lame, weak, fucking gay. But yeah, again, that was the second time that I had been like called out for not laughing, and then I later cheered for his grinder thing, and when he said something to me, I replied to him. I just said those things. But the first guy was this bald Pakistani-ish dude. I don't know, Indian, Pakistani. I'm not sure what he was. But he made some joke about everybody thinks I'm gonna bomb. Everyone thinks I'm gonna get on a plane and bomb it. And then he pointed at me and said, "This guy has not laughed the whole time." And there's silence. And I said, "Just keep bombing, dude." Fucking what? Shoulder shrug. Like, don't try to crowd work me, bitch. You're not funny. This is like a 2-hour fucking show, and you're like the third guy coming up. Boo. Yeah. There was a guy
Speaking
who's.
of looking like Duck Dynasty, did you get your camera fixed for your stream?
I mean, I have it set up. It's sitting next to me, but it's pointed at my computer.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Mm-hmm. I bought a new pair of thin yellow suspenders, and I found the old shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, and so
Something to read.